Well, hello everyone, and welcome to 2021, and welcome back to the Mind Over Madness podcast with myself and Sean. We're starting off early, man. It's only the 2nd, and we're already back. Look at that.
We just missed you all so much.
I know it'll be
missed each other.
Yes, I'm definitely missed my friends and stuff. How have you been? Oh, puppy!
Been very well, yeah.
You've been good.
Not too bad at all. Just been having a nice, small kind of Christmas and New Year, and yeah, it's been nice.
Small kind of Christmas. It's not really Christmas, but we call it kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of Christmas this year. And yeah, New Year was all right. Just pretty much stayed in with my mum. We had a Chinese, and yeah, saw the New Year in together.
Oh, feddles. I didn't even see the New Year. I fell asleep at like 10.
Yeah. I wondered why I didn't get messaged.
Yeah. I messaged everyone after I got up in the morning. I was like, I should probably say happy. So I said Merry Christmas to everyone, but no, I fell asleep, man. I was asleep by 10.
Fair enough. I feel like weird if I fell asleep on New Year's because it's like, I don't know, not something I've ever done before.
I don't know. My thinking of it this year was just kind of like, it's just another year, really. I've stayed up to plenty of midnights this year. I can skip one.
Yeah.
So
I think I had more of that kind of feeling, but I was just like, I still got to stay up because it is New Year.
It's traditional.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
How was your Christmas and New Year's and stuff anyway?
Yeah, quiet, as good as they can be, I suppose, with all the current things going on. But yeah. I'd be lying if we said we had to sacrifice much because we always usually have a small one anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it's fine by our standards. Yeah, lots of nice little gifts, and it was a bit nice to have one day at least where like we didn't watch the news or anything like that. So
yeah,
it could be like normal for one day ish.
It kind of felt like you could ignore it for at least one day, or at least partially. To an extent.
Because I don't even know if they probably did have the news on that day, but like it just seemed like it was just in the background at night.
I've been one of those.
No one wants to hear the figures of death rate and stuff.
Yeah.
They just want to eat the turkey and fall asleep.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but how was your Christmas and steps?
It was alright. Christmas was a bit strange because obviously normally we have like a pattern of like we go to my grandparents, spend time with the whole family, that kind of thing. So obviously that didn't happen this year. And my mum was working, what was it, Christmas morning, I think. So I like started off like the cooking and everything for Christmas dinner, and it was really weird because I've never done that. So I was like, "Oh, this is strange, but I like it."
I like stuffing.
I like stuffing. So
basting it with butter.
Yeah. Lube it up. So yeah, I did that, and then Mum came out. We opened the presents and stuff. That was kind of cool. I saw Vic, I think, on Boxing Day. And then she stayed around on New Year's then as well, but me and her both fell asleep at 10 o'clock because my mum went over to stay with my grandparents. I know, shocker, she broke the rules. Who would have thunk it? Although saying that she broke the rules is so fucking ridiculous. Both of her parents have dementia. She doesn't know if she's going to see him for another Christmas or New Year. She went to spend it with them. I think people could forgive that. So that's what I told her anyway.
Where like everyone's like accusing each other of breaking the rules over this festive period, but it's like just live within your means, and as long as you're doing it small, like what
just
the
be
hell?
sensible. If you be sensible, that's it. If you're showing symptoms, don't fucking go somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Be sensible. Have a bit of responsibility yourself rather than daddy government says I can't do this. So
God, yeah. Oh, by the way, also just to throw this out there, you may notice we're just riffing. This is not like a structured episode. It'll just be whatever the hell we get onto. That's what we'll talk about. It's a nice way to ease it in, I think, for the year as well.
Yeah. Up today, I was thinking, podcast today. I was like, I haven't really done much prep for it. So
I've been writing stuff down and everything, but I'm just like, I didn't fancy it. For the first one back, it's like, you know, yeah. You messaged me about it. I was like, I wasn't sure if we were going to do one today, but do you know what? Why not? Yeah, just riffed it, and you were like, okay, yeah, sounds good. We can rift. So yeah, but yeah, no, I do find it amusing how many people were still like waiting for the government to act as if they were gonna like. Did you see the uproar about people when they were like, "Hey, Christmas can't happen now"? Were you shocked?
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh come on, come
It's
on.
like I'm pretty sure no one was planning massive get-togethers anyway. Like they were kind of abiding by the first set of rules we had,
Yeah.
and then that changed up like Christmas Eve or something.
Yeah, it was like, oh, last minute. Who saw this
Yeah,
coming?
yeah,
Oh,
uh,
that's something that happened though. We're officially out of the EU.
yeah.
Woo!
Time to
I
play back to borders.
I despise the fact that we're not we're not in the EU, but woo, it's done.
Yeah,
That's democracy, so it happened. I'll be honest, I have been kind of keeping up with it, and all Boris Johnson has done through the entire thing is lie. But who saw that coming?
yeah.
Have you kind of kept up on anything with it or seen anything?
That's but
I can't
not
say
really.
I blame
But,
you if you haven't. Like it's one of
like,
those
oh yeah, it
things.
just feels so different now,
I
doesn't
think
it?
4.5 years, it's like people are just fucking done with it.
Yeah,
But it's such a serious thing. Like I didn't realize how many serious things are going to change like very
yeah.
quickly.
Well, at least we managed to get a trade deal, which is good.
Well,
Better than nothing, so that we can have freedom of movement throughout EU. We still there's like more paperwork and stuff
well,
involved.
he made it out to be freedom through the EU, but it isn't. That's the thing. There's more red tape now than there was before.
Yeah,
One of the biggest things that came out of it, or one of the most critical things I think that was one of the biggest hitting points for it was the fact that Boris obviously made it like there wouldn't be any like again terminology and stuff is not going to be here because I haven't researched loads of just off the top of my head. Like he said there wouldn't be any tariffs and stuff. That's true, but that could change at any point because both sides have said,
yeah,
"Hey, if you change this thing, we'll change ours."
yeah,
And then there was what else? It was well, I mean, Christ, look at Christmas. Just before it, the French shutting their borders. People are like, "Hey, but it's fine now. There's no build up." Yes, that's because businesses have stockpiled,
yeah.
ready. Like even the fucking guy himself. I don't know what his name was. I saw him in an interview this morning.
Macron.
Something like that. Oh yeah, the French President Macron was like, "Bruh, you're fucked," and like even
Yeah.
the EU criticised him, like, "You're being a petty little shit now. Come
I
on."
think it was just timing with that. Like, I don't know if it was completely linked to Brexit, but they were just kind of
Yeah.
like, it was so close to the end, and it's like they were testing us, like, oh yeah, well,
I would-
you know,
I
we're
would
not friends
definitely
anymore, so you can't come in because you got to be
I
bad.
don't know. It was part. I think partly to do with the virus, but I think part of it was kind of like, because Boris has been boasting for fucking ages that we'll be fine. And I think Macron was like, "Oh really? Here you go. Here's a tester,"
Yeah,
and it fucking backfired. And people are like, "Well, it's not piling up now. See, we're fine. It's the fucking second day of the year." That by the end of this month, I guarantee it. By the end of this month, I reckon the backlog is going to be as bad as it was, maybe a little bit less. But
yeah,
it's going to get worse. Tariff, like prices of shit, is going to start going. I mean, where Vic works now, their prices are already going up. They've had to increase the price, not by a lot, by like 10p here and there. I think the highest pricing that they've had go up, I think, was something like a quid. So right now it's not like super bad, but it will get worse. And give it 4 years, we'll be back in the fucking EU anyway. When Labour's like, "Bruh, please, we'll suck your dick.
yeah.
Just, just let us back in."
I don't know. I think it's not going to be too bad. It's not going to affect most of us. I mean, it'll affect people who like to travel and all that kind of thing, traveling for work and stuff. But
I think it's sad because like being able to travel the country and the world and stuff is like something that I think a lot of young people want to do. That's a big thing. I think
they
that
can still
comes-
do it.
Yeah, I think bigger stuff like businesses is what's going to be really fucked up the Auschwitz to be
Yeah.
to put it in terminology.
I don't know. I think it's kind of good in a way that we're breaking away from EU laws and things and not having to send
Do you know what's
shitloads
ironic?
of money.
Do you know what's ironic? Is that the laws thing, that was like something that he really pressed on. Do you realise we made our own laws? Seriously, like we followed a few kind of things that the EU was like, "Hey, all of us have to abide by this," but it wasn't like all our actual laws were done by us. I didn't realise that because I was just listening to Boris. But apparently,
Yeah.
we made our own laws. Our laws are our laws; like they haven't changed. We have, however, lost. I can't remember what the database is called, but it's like a police database that the EU has. They've completely cut that off. We can't, like, so all the criminal databases, everything, we don't have access to that anymore. So if there are terrorists here, we don't fucking know.
Yeah.
That's always a plus. Hey, come over here. We can't find you. There you go. So
Yeah.
I think Boris. I agree with democracy. So the fact that we were voted out, it's fine. That had to happen. But I think Boris's deal was god awful. Okay, wow, you've stopped tariffs for probably like a year.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, Amazon, everything is going to be fucked. Like, stuff is going to start rocketing up. People are going to start fucking bitching and complaining. And it's going to be like, well, did you know what you were voting for?
Well, yeah, it's not going to help with it being in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah,
either.
exactly.
Things are going to go up and up and up
Yeah.
because of all the borrowing that the government's been doing.
I think the pandemic didn't help. Absolutely. But, yeah, I think...
But in a couple of years' time, hopefully it'll balance off.
Yeah. Over time, I think it's something that will get structurally stronger and stronger and stronger. But
whether we left the EU or not, the amount of borrowing that the government done, that would just push everything up, taxes and all sorts of things.
It's a tricky position I think Boris has left us in, but I did like to bring it on a brighter subject of the matter. Theresa May said something, and when she was I'm fucking. She was like, people were like, "Oh, did you see that shade she threw at Kia?" That wasn't shade at Kia. That was, she said, her paraphrased words were, "You could have had a better deal, but you fucking voted against it." That was shade at Boris. Boris was sitting right in front of her like that. And Kia even pointed at him like, she's just called your deal shit. Like,
I feel bad for Theresa May. I bet a deal was actually better than what has been offered.
I've said this about Theresa May. She was one of my least favourite fucking people that could have been in power, but she was a damn sight better than Boris, because at least she was competent. She knew what the fuck she was doing to an extent. Like, Boris was just
I feel like there was a lot of kind of hate, well, not hatred, but, prejudice against it because she wasn't actually voted in. It was just Bell and Cameron that decided to leave. And she was just like in.
I mean, yeah, I think Theresa getting well, to be fair, it just got thrown on her lap. At least, like, with David, he was quite honest about the fact that, if we vote to leave, I'm not doing this. Fuck you. I'm out. If we leave, it's a stupid decision. Simple as. And he tried to get the truth out, but his was fucking pushed down by Boris and Nigel Arsfarge trying to fucking push fake shit constantly and misinformation. I think that's the biggest thing that frustrates me when I see people talking about it. It's like, fine, if you voted to leave, that's fine. Did you know what you were getting into by voting to leave? And people are like, well, no, I just listened to what they said. And it's like, that's one of the biggest... Like, if someone goes, well, I wanted to leave because of this, and that's kind of what they understood about the situation, then fine, that's fine, whatever. But if someone didn't even research, like, someone, I think, in the news was like, I want to go back, I remember the good old days. Good old days. Like, it's... those kind of reasonings can fuck off. Just, like, I don't know. The mindset to it, I could never get it. But, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just think people underestimated how much it will actually affect the average person.
Yeah, I think we've only been in the EU for like 30 or 40 years. So we've had a lot of time without them. I think a lot of people of the older generation especially were like, well, why did we need them? And it's the very kind of nationalistic streak in this country. People are very, yay, UK,
but
power.
I do think people have... I don't know if it would be underestimated. They've definitely been misinformed. But I don't know. This is
again, it could be on both sides, like misinformed about what happens if you stay in the EU, like how much money is actually going there.
The problem is it's such a big fucking broad thing. Like I do my best to kind of look at both sides, and I watch, like, there's a guy on YouTube called Maximilian. I watch his videos. He's a guy who lives in Italy. He kind of does it from their perspective and talks about subjects and looks at, like, the UK government and stuff. He's been very informative to watch. But at the same time, you have to try and look at the other side as well, because otherwise you're only getting a biased opinion. So it's like so much information to take in. It's why, like, I've never turned to you and be like, hey, let's do a podcast on the entire Brexit deal. It's only 2,000 pages. Let's read through that. Like, I think it's common knowledge that the average person is not going to do that.
Yeah, it's one of those subjects that there's too much to it, and like he could literally talk about it for days and argue about it for days and debate and whatever.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah. It's not worth it. It's
No.
it's like it's cool to touch on it here and there in little bits and kind of talk about it, but I think the at the end of the day, we voted to leave. We have now left.
Yeah.
It's whatever happens, and let's hope the government is grown
We're
up
not going to
enough.
see any massive effects so far, unless it's like little price
Yeah,
increases, like you're saying. But
yeah.
we're
I
not.
think
We shouldn't be going out on holiday now anyway. So
yeah. I think once I think the EU are fine with it, but I think once Boris is booted out, which will happen this year, hopefully, and someone more competent and his fucking team or their or her team
yeah,
walk in, I think the EU will work better with us. I think right now Boris is just I don't want anything to do with you, which is such a fucking immature attitude to have. You're running a country, just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
make it work.
yeah. I do hope whoever we have next is better, and
Yeah.
yeah, obviously with the new US president as well, we'll be hopefully prospering with international
Joe
relations.
Biden. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he did you see the thing that happened at one of his rallies? Apparently, he called his VP the presidential elect. So people are like, "Ooh, he's got Alzheimer's," because he's getting
Yeah.
words wrong, and it's like
Well,
he is
Kamala
old.
Harris.
Yeah, apparently he called her the presidential elect, which is like,
Oh, okay.
"Oh, Joe, are you giving your job away?" Like,
It's one of those things I can't like understand what he's saying a lot of the time because he's like
yeah,
mumbling and he's like saying the wrong things and like, oh no, excuse me,
it's
I meant this.
worrying, isn't it?
Oh, it's like, oh Joe,
I
please, why aren't you 10 years younger?
I mean, I absolutely think he's a good candidate. And I
Yeah,
think the fact that he got voted in, that's fine.
principle.
I fucking prefer him to Trump. Fucking absolutely. But I don't know. His age is definitely a concern. And I think he's
Yeah.
kind of made that point by how many times he's fumbled up. How many times he said something. And people are like, wait, what? Like when he
Yeah,
tried to like quote the Declaration of Independence, he couldn't quote it. He was like, "Yeah, the thing," and it's like,
yeah, and
you're
he's called Donald Trump George Bush a few times. Like,
he's George Bush. What? No, no, he isn't.
I know. But the good
Oh,
thing is he's got a rock solid vice president anyway. So if
and
anything
team.
happens to him, then she's gonna be in.
His
And he
team,
can always,
his team are much better as well. I mean,
yeah,
again, no one is gonna please everybody, but I think he's much more democratical than Ape Man.
yeah.
Ugh, ugh.
The Chinese virus is a big problem.
Fucking
I
Professor Ugh Ugh over there.
know. The scientists should be illegal. We'll.
Let's all just watch South Park and laugh at the fact they take the piss out of me.
Now, someone give my wife a modelling job, please.
I was in Home Alone, were you?
Yeah, we watched that one over Christmas. That was it.
I actually watched 1 and 2 for the first time.
Yeah, I
Vic,
watched the second one.
can I be honest? Unpopular opinion, they're shit. I mean,
I mean, the second half of the second one was a bit tedious towards the end when they
I
kept
think
on trying to.
the only
fucking
part I
practice.
enjoyed out of both films was the first one when he got to obviously attack the robbers. That was it.
Mm.
Everything else can fuck off about the film. It's dreadful. It's awful. Oh, we forgot our child.
Yeah.
How do
It's
you have so many
yeah.
kids? You shouldn't be parents.
I know.
But I get it. It's a kids' film. I'm not.
I don't know. I think just for the time it was good, and it was the setting, and New York,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
got all the little places there, and it was like actually what it looks like at
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
time. It's like, oh, Christmas.
Oh my god.
But the whole slapstick comedy element of it, I was getting really bored of that towards the end. I was like, oh,
I don't see. I
yes,
didn't mind
okay.
that, but it was just I don't know. I couldn't get into it, man. Like the script is garbage. The fucking acting is. Macaulay Culkin's probably the robbers. The robbers were my favorite thing about the entire films. But
Yeah, Piers Morgan, my
yeah,
pigeon lady.
fucking pigeon lady. What the fuck? That's such a weird part of the film. Like I was sitting
Yeah,
there.
got-
I was sitting there
got-
watching it with Vic, and Vic was just like, "You're not enjoying these, are you?" I'm like, I'm not commenting. You love these films. I'm not gonna say it." And she was just like, "No, be honest." I went, "They're fucking garbage." And she was trying to get me to watch the third one. I went, "No, I'd rather cut my cock off. I'm not watching the third one. It's different actors." I went, "Okay, let me watch the trailer." So I watched the trailer. I'm not watching the fucking third one. It's shit.
got Macaulay Culkin in it, and
So it's fucking spies and what? It's about a kid that's home alone. How do you get the fucking criminal enterprise in there? I don't
I
get
don't
it.
know.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna get so much shit.
Where were we again?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Donald Trump, Home Alone.
Trump, Home Alone.
Yeah,
That's all
but
I'll
yeah,
be after I leave presidency.
I guess. Oh god. Yeah.
Sorry.
In his golden penthouse suite.
In my golden penthouse, watching porn.
I guess we'll talk a bit about the virus, I suppose. I don't know if we mentioned it, like the new strain that's been going around circulating now.
Yeah.
And obviously they're trying to send schools back on Monday, but now they're kind of U-turned on that, and like secondary schools can't go back for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something, like staggered.
Yeah.
And primary schools in London are all shut because it's so rife there until further notice. But primary schools can come back everywhere else for now.
Yeah.
So, what do we think about sending kids back into the fire, to the breeding cesspits that are schools? I feel sorry for the teachers.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll say that. I think my obvious answer is going to be not a surprise to anyone, but I feel sorry for the teachers, man. Like their work is so difficult as it is. And now they're having to like make stuff COVID secure, and it's just not possible. And they're like, "Hey, can you do it on this time frame?" No, I can't, you fucking moron. And then they're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna push it through anyway." And then obviously they luckily now haven't done that. But I think it's the same in Wales.
You've got to have to set this testing regime and stuff and all sorts.
Yeah. It won't work.
Jesus.
It won't work. It never did.
I know.
It never did.
Tests are shit.
I mean,
the rapid ones.
Fucking
They're
hell.
not accurate.
He only introduced another tier, the system that works, after, 50,000 cases a day? Nearly 5 times as many at the peak in April. And he was like, maybe I should do something about this. This is getting a little bit out of control now, right? So you fucking idiot. So, yeah. I don't know.
I understand it's important for like some kids to go back, and it's just good why they're letting like the vulnerable kids back and key workers kids back sooner than the rest.
Definitely.
But it's a fact that this new strain of the virus spreads a hell of a lot quicker from kids, like especially, and just like in general. But like the schools are the only places where people are allowed and children are allowed to just free reign anything they want. It's not social distance or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like maybe in the classroom, but playground time,
Yeah. No, it's nuts.
Try and teach a kid to socially distance.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen, is it? Although I think a lot of kids are more sensible now. I think because it's gone on for so long, they're kind of like, oh, well, it's not just a one-off thing. I think some kids will be kids, but, But, like, just for example, back on April 23rd of last year, weird to say that, but it was, there was, at the peak of it, there was about 5,000 people that were getting infected a day. You look at the most recent ones, like, which was yesterday, 53,000 people in a day. And that's just the UK. And
the figures are, like, not even calibrated yet because of all the Christmas breaks and stuff.
Yeah, and which is nuts. I mean, like, we're probably a week away from learning that, and Boris is like, nah, we don't need another lockdown.
Yeah, so this is all, like, not taking into account all the mixing they've allowed.
He's Christmas. A fucking idiot. Just, like, and the deaths as well, like, inevitably, people were like, hey, it's not any more deadly. Tell that to the nearly 1,000 people that died in a day. It's like, fucking hell. Why do people just choose to ignore what is right in front of them? It's like, how can you be so... Well, it hasn't affected me. Oh, you're wearing clothing. Did you see how it was made? Like, no, it's there. Like, fucking...
Yeah. People, I mean, there's, like, protests outside London hospitals that I read somewhere that they were shouting, COVID is a hoax. Like, as the nurses are coming in and out, like, treating the people.
Not a popular opinion. I think here's what we should do with those kinds of people. Round them up. Put them in a room, sneeze on them, and let them die.
Yes, it's amazing how they can never do it alone. They have to be with a gang of their peers.
There you go. I'm going to get arrested for saying that now. You're inciting genocide. Oh, fuck off.
No. We're just culling stupid people, okay?
Yeah, exactly. It's not a loss. That's what the world's trying to do. Cull the idiots.
One good thing about coronavirus is it killed Jack the Ripper.
Oh, Jesus.
There we go.
Well, it killed a version of him, the Yorkshire. I don't know. It baffles. I don't know what your kind of like opinion on it is, but it just baffles me that people are acting as if like just because we've gone over a threshold into like a new year. Oh well, it's a new year.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shall I tell it to stop? Mate, you can't carry on from 2020. That was last year. You've got to stay over there. It's like that's not how it works.
Yeah. I think that's why New Year for a lot of people was just not great because people are like, you're saying Happy New Year to people, but deep down everyone knows it's going to be another 6 months of hell before anything gets better.
Positive news though, the Oxford vaccine got approved, so that's good. That's excellent. That means that the rollouts and stuff can happen sooner. I will say this much though, because my mum told me this, and it worried me because she, working in the hospital, being on the front lines and stuff. It worried me. She was like, "Oh well, if you have the first, like this is the Pfizer vaccine now. I'm not too read up on the Oxford one, so I still need to kind of read up on it. But obviously with the Pfizer, you have the main jab and then the booster. People are like, oh, when you have like a vaccine, you're immediately immune. No, it takes 8 to 14 days to kick in your system. That's easily findable. And people are like, oh, but I can go out now. No, you can't. You haven't had the booster for a start. And not just that, but if you don't have the booster apparently within, what is it, like
14, no, it's 3 weeks, isn't it?
3 weeks, yeah. If you don't have it within 3 weeks and it goes to 4 weeks, let's say it ticks over, apparently you have to have the first jab again. And people.
Well, that's what the government are doing. They're changing it, aren't they?
Yeah, because it's like
they're
now
saying
people are
saying
saying
wait 12 weeks between the jabs.
Which is like, are you sure? Because from my limited knowledge, again, I'm just an idiot that looks shit up. But from my limited knowledge, it's something like if you have the first part, it doesn't exactly like leave your system, but it's definitely less effective after a lengthy period of time, and then you have the booster. I think that's why they're kind of hoping the Oxford one. I think the Oxford one is just one jab, right? Or is it 2? I don't know.
It's two, but I think both of them are 2. But the Oxford one is
easier
maybe
to transport.
I don't know. It's kind of just easier to give and easier to store and stuff like that. But the Pfizer like one is saying
super cold.
That it's like you get most of the antibodies from the first jab, like so they want to protect more people semi-immune than having less people fully immune or something. But even though it's not fully immune, it's like 90% or something.
Yeah, it's like 90%.
And it doesn't actually stop transmission, it just stops you from getting the symptoms of it.
Yeah, which is what people are misinterpreting, I think. And it's like, you might not want to do that.
I know, so, oh well, I just want to wait till my gran gets vaccinated, then I can go around and hug her and stuff. No, she can still spread it to you, and you can still spread it to her. She can spread it to her friends.
Yeah, and not just that, but like another worrying thing as well is like people are like, hey, once everyone's vaccinated, it's gone. No, COVID will still be around. It'll still be a virus that can infect you. It's just it'll be managed under herd immunity, the same as every other flu and virus vaccine out there. But not even on that subject, the amount of dumbass anti-vaxxers that are like, well, I'm not having it. There's a chip inside it. I mean, we touched on this before, but taking them into account, if they're not going to have it, it's going to be fucking pointless anyway. Get used to living in your house because it ain't going to fucking change. You have to have a set amount.
The thing is, those people will probably get it, but then it won't actually affect them that much. It'll affect good people that actually want the vaccine.
Oh, wait until they want to go on holiday. Wait until they want to go on holiday. It's like, well, have you had the jab? No. Well, then you're not going on holiday. Fuck off, go home. I'll have the jab then. That's suddenly they'll want the jab because I can't go away to put my toes up in the sun. So,
yeah. As soon as you start limiting all the fun stuff like that, they'll soon want it.
They'll be like, why can I not?
But yeah, so
I don't know.
So they've done like 1 million people so far with the Pfizer vaccine, which is not like an astounding number, but it's a start, I suppose. It's like
it's better than nothing.
A certain percentage of the older population. They say it's going to take like 3 years if you keep going at this pace to get everyone done.
Which is why they were like, hey, we're going to have 3 billion of the fucking Oxford one by the end of next year. And it's like, you won't. You won't. You're a liar, Boris. You're a liar. You've lied through your entire teeth this entire time.
Yeah. Well, the distribution company said, oh, well, we're going to make 2 million every week. But it's just how fast can you actually jab people with it?
Exactly. People are like, oh, well,
'Cause
it's
it's
just a
not
jab. It
enough.
takes 2 seconds. It's like, yeah, but you've got to take into consideration they have to socially distance people. They have to book people back in to have the next jab. They have to make sure they're doing the certain people first before others. It's not like they're just jabbing everyone. There's a lot
Yeah.
logistically to it. And now we're not in the EU. We're underfunded.
Yeah.
So it's like... like, what are you expecting to happen? A miracle?
Yeah.
It's a tricky
Yeah, I
one.
think they're gonna have to. I think they're hiring loads of volunteers to help
Yeah.
do the jabs and stuff.
They've got...
And
haven't they
like
opened
24/7 night, all day bloody centers that they're gonna do, and the Tesco and stuff are like helping to distribute them.
Yeah, they've also opened up some Nightingale hospitals again. Although, you know, some people are like, "Hey, they're permanent upgrades." They're not. Some of them have been dismantled.
Yeah.
You know, Boris lied again. What a shock. So
Yeah.
but I think he has.
A lot of
opened
people
up...
saying that as like a massive PR stunt or something. The Nightingale
It
hospitals.
It was. I think they
Yeah.
I disagree when like these news articles are like, "Hey, they never got used." Yes, they fucking did, you liars.
Yeah.
Of course they got used. But it's just when Boris said, "Oh, they're going to be permanent upgrades." Of course he lied about that. How can you
Yeah.
just set up a tent somewhere and that's a permanent upgrade? That's not how it works. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, that's the problem, I think, is people are getting all this different information. They don't know the actual discerned truth. So, you know, I don't...
Because we're only being told what the media is telling us, basically.
Yeah, the media's screaming, saying this is bullshit. You've got Boris going, well, this is going to 100% work, and no one's looking at the middle. It's... Yeah, so I don't blame people if they get their information from wherever you get it. I think you should try to get it from as many places as you can. But I think it's impossible to know the 100% truth. Absolutely.
I just wish there was a site which just gave 100% facts, where you could just, like, rather than the spin that a lot of the media can put on things as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do it to get clicks, don't they? That's how it works.
Yeah.
It's like if I put at the beginning of this title, two men talking about sex, it'll probably get more clicks. That's the natural thing.
Yeah, with the
People
thumbnail
want
of us both naked.
Yeah, just
with a bit of blurred out.
yeah, that would get views. That would get clicks. But because I'll probably just call it the podcast episode and then maybe list a few things after. But yeah, I don't know.
Like a lot of the papers are reporting like the hospitals are completely overwhelmed. There's no beds left.
Yeah.
In London and stuff. I know it's like not actually quite true because a lot of the staff are actually off, and it's always busy around Christmas time anyway.
Yeah.
But a lot of the staff are actually off, so they can't actually have the capacity of beds that they would normally have anyway. So that's shot down.
Yeah.
So yes, they are kind of at capacity because there's less beds anyway.
Yeah, isn't there something like 10%? I think I heard a statistic like 10% less beds are being used because understaffing and things like that.
Yeah.
And because obviously they have to keep
it's
beds
still
up.
worrying, of course, but
Yeah, absolutely.
What can you do?
We're not diminishing the fact that we're not saying they're not under pressure. They absolutely are, but we're trying to, understand how they're under pressure. Like, it's not a case if they've got every single worker there that's, it's not possible. So that's why, and people who work there and nurses and stuff like that are gonna catch COVID as well. They're around the people 24/7. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a family member that works in a care home. There was an outbreak there. She caught COVID, gave it to my auntie, and it fucking went down the fucking family chain. So it just happens. It's a bastard of a contagion.
I feel bad for all the people who are actually getting positive tests now after having like celebrated Christmas with their family and stuff. Like, oh no!
Can you imagine? It's
I must have given it to Grandad.
Oh, no, Nanny. It's like, oh Jesus.
But yeah. So, I know my sister is a contact tracer. She was like phoning people up on Christmas Day, asking them to isolate and stuff. It's like, oh no.
Well, I'm with my family now. They're fucked. It's like, okay, tell them to isolate as well.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, man. It ain't easy.
Yeah, so it's going to be like this for the next couple of months anyway. So
yeah.
Happy New Year, but it's not going to be much different. Right?
I think, but I don't know. That's what I ask you. When do you kind of think normality? Let's call it normality, to a point of where we can start going out again and not really have to wear face masks and things like that. Kind of, when's your guess, shall we say? Do you think sensibly there realistically could be an option?
Well, in terms of the face masks and things, I mean, I think I'm looking at like 2022 for that kind of thing
Yeah,
to stop.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think when it starts to feel a bit more normal, like it did in summer last year, when we're all in like less restrictions and stuff
Yeah.
because people don't care as the sun's out. It'll probably start to feel like that when the weather gets better, spring, summer.
Yeah.
And they might just start letting us around,
They're hoping
visiting
to get
people and
vulnerable,
stuff.
isn't it? Vulnerable people done by spring.
Yeah, and that will help as well.
Yeah, if they can stick to it.
Yeah,
I'm very doubtful because of how much they've fucked it up so far, but I'm hopeful. Hopefully they'll do it, but I have my doubts. I can't. I mean,
yeah.
who the fuck couldn't? Yeah.
The amount of vulnerable people that have been like jabbed already, and the amount that have died. I mean, there can't be many of these people left.
So many people.
I don't know.
I think
They just keep coming out of nowhere.
Wales has been all right. I mean, we did have a rough spot at one point. I think we were up to nearly 150,000 cases, and we've had just under 3,500 deaths.
Yeah.
For people who are like, "Fuck me, that's a lot." In the UK, the total is to 74,125. The majority of that comes from England. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
The biggest part of the country run by the biggest idiot. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's hopefully it'll there'll come a point where we can look back on this and be like, Christ, when we're old, Sean, and we're still friends and we're talking, we'll be like, do you remember when we were younger? The COVID plague.
Yeah. Well, I guess at least we can say we've lived through a pandemic.
Yeah.
So far.
Hey, yeah. Let's put that on my CV.
Well, I lived through a war, but I lived through a pandemic.
Pandemic. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I lived
I was
through
asked to
Trump.
stay at home and fight the gaming.
Trump
trenches.
didn't nuke North Korea, so of course I lived. Oh, I don't know. There's a lot to it.
But, yeah. Is any of the news that we can think of? I can think of one thing that I've not talked about. Why I'm looking for my notes, I do not know. Because there aren't any. I can't believe.
By the way, again, yeah, this is kind of like a cuff one. So if you notice not much pattern or whatever, that's why. But it's also we have no notes.
Yeah, apparently,
So
Ghislaine Maxwell has been trying to get out of prison, like trying to make a plea bargain, saying that she'll literally pay for security guards to watch her London residence. Or I think there's one in the States that she has. She'll literally pay for her own security to stop her leaving. Like, really? Really, Ghislaine?
yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Hope you're
it.
fucking having a lovely time in prison.
Enjoy your new cell, bitch.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I have to say about that.
I know. Hope she's having a wonderful time in prison.
Yeah.
It must be absolutely awful as well because she's one of the horrible, most like disgusting ones.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy your showers, bitch.
Yeah, and with all the extra security and fame that she has, like she won't be literally left out of her padded cell. Like she'll be on her own so much with COVID rules as well, which means she can have even less time with any family members.
Good.
Oh, she must be struggling now.
She must be fucking struggling.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
socialite
Thinking
normal.
about the fact that she's all alone and she's struggling just like she made those young women feel. It's giving me a hard on. I'm not gonna lie. Makes my dick harder than a rock.
Socialite no more. She is.
Aye. Bitch deserves it.
So yeah, she's gonna be staying in prison till July when her court case hearing is.
Yeah, that's if it doesn't get pushed back again because they go, hey, plague's getting worse.
Yeah, I think we'll just keep you in for another year, bitch.
Yeah, keep you in for another year. But I've heard it's getting better. Silence her. Cut her tongue out. Oh, look, she had an accident and her tongue fell out. What a shame.
Yeah.
No point in the hearing. She can't defend herself. Fuck it. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I've been watching not watching. I've been listening to a podcast called like Hunting Ghislaine or something. It's pretty interesting. It goes through all the like history of how she came to meet Epstein and it goes. There's like episodes on Prince Andrew and stuff. It's pretty cool. If we've got like raw tapes of the original victims like going to the police and stuff, it's like
Jesus.
fairly hard listening, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
Nonetheless. But yeah, she's just part of that systematic cycle of abuse and
As you can imagine.
horrible deeds.
Yeah, disgusting human being.
Like a bloody factory of it. Stupid.
I think that's what amazes me is like people like go, power don't corrupt, motherfucker. Like power can hide, like money can hide anything. It can't bring you happiness, but it can fucking hide anything. Ironically, if money brings you happiness, look at your morals.
Yeah.
Like clearly something is not adding up properly there.
Yeah, it's just money and contacts. Like whoever it will protect you as well. He had links to the royals, links to Donald Trump, links to powerful people. They would all protect him.
Yeah,
because he's offering them a service, probably, presumably.
Would you like a bit of teen moof?
But it's like a stage where he's literally getting access to 3 young girls a day to do what he wants, basically. Like, how does that even happen? That's the amount of risk that must be there, but he must feel so like powerful.
I think the thing is it's like with young people, you present them with someone of an authoritarian role, like an authority role, and they're like, hey, if you tell anyone, they won't believe you, and B, fuck you.
And he was paying them as well. So it's like literally like offering. It's like, oh yeah, well they're just prostitutes. No, they were from schools. So it's like, well, I'm paying you for this service.
Well, I'm paying for you to service my pipe. Therefore, bitch, go make me a sandwich and cry about it. Like it's like, oh, the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't get it. How the fuck did she stay with someone like that? I slit his throat when he was sleeping. How? I mean,
she was a socialite and literally did nothing but socialize with people. And
well, apparently she fiddled
friends
with some of them as well, didn't she? There was like that. There was like stories of her joining in with the girls and things like that. Yeah. It's like, why?
Her dad was Robert Maxwell, like a powerful media person here. He died under like suspicious circumstances. Mm-hmm. She had like a really royal life in like a massive mansion in Oxford, and went to Oxford University and hung out with all these people.
Mad.
But yeah, I think she's just used to being around those powerful men figures, and like she just latched onto Jeffrey as one of those, and literally would do anything to keep him happy, so that probably she didn't have to do it herself. But then in the end, probably just continued to.
Well, it certainly went to do with his charming looks.
I took in it.
She went with him for his fucking looks. Have you seen him? Jesus. I'm not look shaming, by the way. I only look shame nonsense.
No, that's not whinging.
For those of you in the US who don't know what a nonce is, it's a paedophile. We call them in the UK. They're the one type of people we'd love to reach.
Oh, baby.
Oh, look at that. There's a pupper.
What do you think about Jeffrey Epstein? He's a horrible person, isn't he?
She looks upset. She looks upset by the mere mention of him.
Aren't you? Oh, it can't hurt anyone else. Yes. Right. Shall we move on to something else?
Yeah, onto a little bit of a different subject. I decided that it would be a great idea to invest a subscription into Audible. And I listened to... I'm currently listening through a podcast done by John Ronson, I think his name is. It's called The Butterfly Effect. It's about the porn industry. Hear me out. But it's like the guy who made like Pornhub and how he changed the industry and how like workers in the industry now are having to struggle and things like that. It's fascinating. Listen, it's free on Audible. You can just go off and listen to it. It is brilliant. I highly recommend it. I also listened through the first Witcher book, finally, and I'm in love with it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Did you get a good like presenter who's reading it?
Yeah, the guy who's reading it does like a pretty decent Geralt. It works. Yeah. Except in the book, you don't hear him say fuck too often. It's mostly bless you.
Especially with China. Mhm.
But
Yeah, it all depends for me on like whoever's reading it. Sometimes like I don't know. I think I prefer like a woman's voice when I'm
yeah.
listening to things. I feel like I get more attached to it. If it's like a deep gravelly voice, I'm like, no. Oh my god, it's like super snowing out here. It's like
Oh, it's
really
nuts. Yeah,
pretty.
because you've got snow over by you.
Yeah, like
I'm
I wish I
glad.
could just
I fucking
send
hate
you
the
a.
snow.
Wish I could turn this around and you could have a look, but I don't know if it would work.
Oh,
It'd just be white.
I fucking hate the snow, so I'm glad you keep it. It
It's like
plays hell
really
on
thick.
my arthritis, so,
Yeah,
so you can keep it.
yeah. I'm taking the dogs out. It's a death trap. Like I didn't get so far today. It's literally skidding all over the place.
So I
It
can't
just
do
turns
this.
into ice here, and no one cares. There's no like council that salts anything. It's just like, oh well, whatever.
No, do you reckon their excuse was, "Hey, there's a pandemic"?
Yeah, yeah. It's dangerous to salt the roads and the footpaths.
Let's not make it less dangerous. Let's make it
Yeah.
more. Let's cull the population more.
Yeah. I just wish I had a good view of like the footpath so that I could see people slipping. On that.
Oh,
Um,
yes, that does sound like fun.
yeah. That's, today's entertainment.
Today's entertainment: people falling.
Yeah. Um, shall we talk about whatever films we've watched or something? I mean, we
I
talked
love
a bit
how
about.
we're automatically referring back to our little.
Yeah,
our thing. It just works, man. It works.
it works.
Yeah,
If
sure.
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Sure. There's a series I started watching on Netflix. It's a Korean series, Sweet. I believe it's called Sweet Homes, based on like a graphic novel of the same thing. It's really good.
Okay.
It's like a horror-y kind of thing, but it's typical Korean, kind of like acting and wording and things like that. It has like a dub over it, so it's all done in English. So it's a bit weird because some of the acting, and then like you see the dub, like you'll see the dub, you hear the dub over the actual
Yeah.
acting, and you're like, that looks a bit off.
Yeah.
That person doesn't look like they're talking in a neutral voice.
Yeah.
It's amusing and entertaining. I highly recommend it. It's a very, very good sci-fi one
Yeah.
so far. Anyway,
You had me at like little horror themes. I was like, ooh.
it is. It's like
Mm-hmm.
there's monsters in it that are kind of like stuff from The Evil Within mixed with Silent Hill, mixed with Left 4 Dead. Like
Yeah.
this, it's really impressive actually. Like I've really gotten into like Korean TV shows just from the animation alone. Like their
Yeah.
budgets are always super low, but they're so good.
Yeah. They know how to write a good story.
They do.
And Americans know how to fuck it up. The remake.
Yes, yes, they do.
Yeah, I watched a film the other day with my mum. It's called The Jungle. It's got Daniel Radcliffe in
Ah,
it.
it's a good film.
It was good, yeah.
Different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the whole traveling thing, and he gets kind of lost and has to survive a certain amount of time. And there's a guy looking at me. I'm just gonna hide. So,
Mate, stop staring at him.
mate, I know this is a public footpath, but please.
Isn't it weird? Like it's strange. In Wales, you hear everyone go, "Hey, mate," and then when you hear someone from England do it, it sounds like, "Hey, mate." It's like really pronounced.
Hey.
In Wales, we barely pronounce our words. Oi,
Yeah,
oi, but.
I was just brought up properly.
Yeah, no, you were taught how to speak. In Wales, they just throw a dictionary at our head, and that's it. Like, read this. I burnt mine, so I can barely talk. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a bit overlong and probably a bit serious to watch on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's one of those.
My mum fell asleep.
It's a good drama thriller, I would say, but it's different, isn't it? It's not like your typical Daniel Radcliffe film.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of immersive ones where you kind of have to stick with it to get the reward at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Well acted and things. If a little slow in places, but yeah.
Yeah,
what can you do?
it did feel quite dragged out, admittedly. I can't remember much of it because it's been a good year or two since I've watched it, I believe. I can't remember when it actually came out. Was it 2018?
Yeah. Or 2017.
Might have been. But yeah, it was quite long-winded, especially towards the end. I felt like they dragged the end out a bit too much from what I remember.
Yeah, they definitely did, and with all the flashbacks as well. It's a bit like
there
wasn't much character development.
It felt like a
with
Last
the
of Us
other
2 plot.
Yeah.
Flashback after flashback.
Yeah, which just they were kind of trippy as well. Like it didn't make much sense. It's like, okay. But yeah. Yeah, it was something good to watch. I thought it'd be good to watch with my mum because she likes the whole real, inspired by real events and things. But
Yeah.
it turns out she fell asleep halfway through it.
It's like, oh, well, cheers.
That's
I thought you were going to watch it.
probably the tipples that she had.
One
But
too
yeah,
many, alcoholic beverages.
yeah. Right at the end when like he gets rescued, like yay! Like,
you,
you enjoyed it like I have. How can
you didn't enjoy the journey. What happened halfway through? I don't know. I was sleeping.
I'm like, oh, think about it, you probably did actually miss much.
Yeah, it's like actually you probably skipped most of the
got
parts.
rescued.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
fair play. Anything
Other
else?
than that, literally, I can't think. I bought a few games I played, but I can't think of any films.
Oh, fair.
It's really. Oh, I watched. What's it called? It had George Clooney in it. It's like a new one on Netflix. Completely forgot what it's. It's like
I know which one you're talking about.
It's like set in space. Well, it's set on Earth in a space station, but then there's like the contacting people from space. Like, that's a good one though.
that a good one. Go watch that.
It's a good one. Kind of slow, but I liked the relationship between George Clooney and the little girl, and yeah, the whole space aspect of it. I was like loving my space things. Oh, one I did watch as well, Apollo 13. That got me onto that one because I've been enjoying my little space ones.
Back on the space train.
Yeah, I liked that. I guess I haven't known much about like all the Apollo thing until I watched that Challenger documentary and like all the kind of disasters they've had back with NASA and things. And I was like, oh, it's nice to see things going backwards in time and looking at all these disasters they've had.
Just a few disasters, only a few fuck ups.
Yeah. But that was like a 1990s film, back when films were like powerhouses and it's apparently very snowy out there. We haven't had enough, and that's going to freeze over again and be horrible. But yay, God. Snow!
Yay, everyone loves snow.
Probably half the schools will be closed around here because snow days. Have a little dusting of snow and everyone stays up.
Can't go out in it, but
but yeah, so that was a good one. Watch. I completely forgot the name of all the actors I was thinking of in my head. So I'm terrible with names, but
Yeah. God.
Yeah, that's it for films for me, I think.
Oh, fair. I did watch Piranha 3D. Fucking.
I did like that one.
It's fucking garbage. It's crap. It's just fucking tits, arse, fucking shitty gore effects. Ooh, scary piranha. There you go. I've just described the entire film. You don't have to watch it. It's fucking dreadful. Vic was sitting there like, oh, this is hilarious. I was sitting there going, it's I hate my life. First Home Alone 1 and 2, now this.
Yeah, I think there's a kind of an art to watching trashy films that you have to recognise the trashy before you get into them.
I found it hilarious.
You kind of enjoy them when you just like kind of let your mind go.
I've become too much of a fucking critic.
I mean, if you think Piranha 3D is bad, wait till you watch Piranha 3 Double D. That is even worse.
Oh Christ! There's a second
without
one.
The production values of Piranha 3D. So.
Oh Jesus!
That is just probably one of the worst films. I can't even defend that one.
It's fucking dreadful. I mean, I guess it's one of those films, if you were looking for a shit film that you just want to laugh at, just because you clearly know that the cast and crew basically just got high and filmed tits, then there you go. That's a film to laugh at.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I guess it's kind of fun if you think of it as a garbage film and don't go, I'm watching this for a story.
Yeah. I think it's a remake of like an original film from a few years ago.
The guy who was in the original was in this one. He was like the scientist guy.
Yeah, so they did take some aspects of it seriously.
Yeah.
And the production values were quite good considering.
Admittedly, yeah. But for a 3D film, the 3D was...
It was part of the phase of 3D films at that time where like they had to be kind of in your face kind of things because people were like, what's the point of this?
It was better as a 2D film.
Oh, yeah. The 3D aspect was the selling point of like films like that.
I mean, Christ, look at Avatar. It was like
Yeah.
one of the biggest 3D films that ever got released. I still think to this day that's probably the best 3D film that's ever been made.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching that in 3D and being quite wowed about it.
Yeah, I was like,
Uh,
holy shit.
but then going
Sigourney
forward,
Weaver.
it was like watching all the Lord of the Rings, all the like Hobbit films in 3D. It's like literally made no difference.
It was like, there was a difference. It gave me a headache.
Yeah. It did some weird thing with Desolation of Smaug. It's like 120 frames or something version. And I watched it in IMAX as well, and it's like horrible to watch. I don't know what it is. I think films need to stay at 24 frames or whatever they should be.
They're trying to catch up with games.
I know. Keep the high frame rate for games.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just stick to your lane. You know, you're great at making films. Keep it at that. Don't make it more complicated.
I'm never going to an IMAX bloody film again.
I got a fucking migraine.
And like, I'd rather not have all my peripheral vision covered in screen. I mean, I look at enough screens anyway. Don't want to be looking at a massive one.
Yeah, true.
Even with glasses on, 3D glasses.
Yeah, 3D glasses don't help your eyes; they make them worse.
Plus, it was a bad Hobbit film anyway.
I've yet to see the second and the third one. I've seen the first.
The third one kind of gets a bit better, but the second one,
disappointing.
not so much. Again, with that, as we were talking about earlier, the music is always a selling point for that.
Yeah, true.
Complain about the music, but you can complain about the story. There should have been one film, not dragged into 3 films.
Well, you know, anyway they can get more money. That's how it goes. It's like the Star Wars trilogy. It just goes on and on and fucking on.
It's got such a high fan base. They just have to keep making more. But it kind of fucked the films off and started just doing series.
Until the fan base turn around and say you fucked it.
Yeah.
Then they blame the fans for being stupid. Then they go, sorry, we messed it up.
Yeah.
It's a normal process.
Yeah. Games. I'm not totally following the structure. I'm just
I think we're going slightly off, but it's not like we've got any plans or anything, so we don't. Technically, if anything, this should technically be shorter because we don't have anything planned. But you know, it varies. Yeah, I mean, I guess games. Yeah. I
bought some games in the January sales in store.
Yeah. What you buy?
I was like, oh, I got Avengers. So it's interesting that I picked that up a bit later than you've played it. And I picked up The Forest as well.
Yeah.
I've played both of them.
Forest is fun. Forest is more fun to fuck around in, I think, than it is to take seriously.
The weird kind of AI cannibal thing.
They're
sit there.
so amusing.
Yeah. I've got my little base set up. So.
I do love the little creativity in it. Like the fact you can build bases and stuff like that and the trees and everything. Like, it just works. It's very fun.
I think all I was doing the other night was just like wheeling the sled around, collecting logs to build my house. But it's kind of make your own kind of story. One, I know there's like a loose story element to it. You're looking for your son, and your plane crashes. That looks
nice. Nice little thing. I got to put it by here because it's getting somehow fucking 2:30. It's getting dark in my room.
I know, it's so dark and snowy here.
It's like what? What?
Dark but also light at the same time.
Dark and light. It's like two in the same.
Oh, pretty. But yeah, Avengers. I enjoyed. I've only played the campaign part of it, and they've added some DLC to it. I know it's the Kate Bishop DLC. I've played those bits, and so far I've not got bored yet. I think I put about like 18 hours into it. I think so far. I've not got bored yet. I'm like kind of enjoying leveling up my heroes so far. I know. Good. I can see why people say it's repetitive, and it is. This mission structure is very repetitive. During the campaign, you don't really notice it so much, but doing some of the side missions and stuff, like the same 3 objectives. Okay,
I've definitely said it 1,000 times. The story is good. I like the story, and I like playing through the campaign. After that, can fuck off. It's basically just hey, buy our microtransactions. So, but more power to people that like it. More power.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm just kind of like toned down to the fact that it's so repetitive because I'm used to playing repetitive kind of games like Division, Destiny. They're all kind of, you can put it down to the same 3 objectives. Go here, kill enemies, do this objective,
fucking
they're all basically like that if you like put it down to it. But yeah.
I
It's
played,
cool playing around as your heroes, I suppose.
I played a bit of Division 2 today. I was so depressed. I was like, this game could have been so much more.
Yeah, I'm ready to finally finish off that.
Yes.
I don't think
It's got to be finished in 2 days. We'll finish that later. Get it done
Yeah.
for you.
I've done the previous mission, but on my own. So
It's fine,
just
it's
ready
fine.
to do the
We'll
do
do
the target.
get the fucking target done.
Sorry guys.
No, it's fuck it. You chose to watch this.
But yeah,
Oh,
so
fine.
enjoying it so far, but we'll wait until I get bored of it. I'm just hoping to get at least another 10 hours out of it. Then it's like £1 per hour, and I could justify that.
Fair point.
Yeah. What else have I played? I can't think much.
What did you get any new games for Christmas then?
No, not really. I know I got what's it called? Totally Reliable Delivery Service. It's a good one to fuck around with.
Yeah.
Have a bit of fun with your friends.
Nice.
Quite shallow, but it is fun.
It's enjoyable for what it is.
Enjoyable to a point, because who doesn't love like flying around, driving in cars, and farting on
Wacky physics.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. There's a few I want, but I can't really commit to any of them. Like I do want Death Stranding, but the amount of cutscenes I've seen look really good. But then when I see the gameplay, it's just like Delivery Simulator, and I'm like, oh.
I have to admit, I've been playing through that. And it's an interesting one. The story definitely has gripped me. The gameplay, I love. By the way, the music, outstanding. I'm so glad that I got it when it was on sale, so I could get the soundtrack with it. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
But the story is very intriguing, but the gameplay, it's a little bit uninteresting.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Seems
a drag.
like overcomplicated.
It's not even that. It's like once you start playing it, it's really simple, but it's just there's so much micromanaging that it just gets a bit fucking stale. It's like, oh, your boots are destroyed. Put some new ones on. What the fuck? And then you've got to like, depending how much weight you've got on you, you're gonna flick left and right, and you have to go through rivers and like it's got some cool. I know I sound like I'm shitting on the game. And I guess I am in some extent, but
we're passionate about them. That's that.
It's a good game, but I think for me personally, at least, I can play it in small stints, but I couldn't imagine sitting there playing it for 10 hours. Like, no, I would get fucking sick of the game and never touch it again. But like an hour here or there, or like make progress and then stop for the day. So which is about to make progress is quite quick. At least for me, I'm only in the beginning stages. I'm only like 6 hours in. But it's quite quick. It's like go from this place to this place to this place to this place to this place. Like that's basically it. Walk here with this delivery.
Yeah.
Don't drop any because you'll have to make the trip again, but go back to get the shit, then go back again.
Yeah.
So it can be kind of a drag, but it's okay.
And then I looked at the price and it's like $59.99 again. I was like, nope.
I would definitely say if you're going to get it on sale. Or buy it second hand because it'd be cheaper.
Yeah, because I've seen it for like 15 quid at some point.
That would be worth it. I would say for 15 quid, you're going to get a fun experience out of it.
Yeah. I know there's new PlayStation Plus games coming out next month, including Man-Eater, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and something else.
Yeah. What was the other one? Yeah, I remember you sending them.
It was like an RPG.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of it. A lot of people like it, though.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I already played, and I fucking hate it.
Those remakes kind of just went downhill as it went on. Like,
the first one, excellent.
Yeah.
I had a good time with it. The second one, more of the first game, but a little bit more tedious. But I could live with it. It's okay.
bad acting kind of
It's
thing.
okay. The third one, it's depth. You're playing as her as a child. Fuck off, Square Enix.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
It's one of those things. I probably play through it just for the cutscenes and the action, like set pieces and things, and then the gameplay. But the story looks garbage.
It was like the Uncharted games, but worse.
Yeah. I think they all kind of wanted it to be Uncharted, but the story writing and stuff is just like bad. Like the dialogue that they say, And Jonah as the actor, I didn't really like him.
Yeah. The first game, I felt like everyone was like invested in it, like all the actors, everything. Even if their lines, like the script wasn't that great, it was still done with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Second game, they kind of lost that enthusiasm. It felt like they were being hit with a stick.
Yeah, you got a lot of character development from Lara in the first one, I felt.
Yeah.
Because you like witnessing her first kill and, her kind of this more darker version of Lara.
I do think they fucked it up in the first one by, like, you killed someone, she kind of reacted how she reacted, and then went on to kill hundreds of other people perfectly fine, like a fucking sociopath. I think they should have, if they were going to make a trilogy, it should have been a very slow progression. They should have invested in her story, not just, she's on an island, she's a Tomb Raider, go nuts. Like, the story.
That's basically what the second one was. And the third one.
And the third one was just, we can't be fucked. Just, there's the second game, but just worse with more bugs.
Let's just introduce some mystic elements to it.
Oh, God, why? Hey, go look around her mansion when she was a child. I don't give a shit about this. Just put me in a tomb. That's why I came to this game. I finally accepted after the second game that's what you were going for. Then you went, no, we're going to try and make you care. Fuck off!
Yeah.
It's the reason I threw off a cliff 3 times for fun. I didn't like her.
Yeah. I do have to give it to them. The death animations are very good.
Oh, that was so enjoyable.
But yeah, I'm glad it's free. Yeah. I know they're selling it super cheap. Like the week after it was on sale, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was not perceived well as far as I'm aware. Graphically,
I don't think there'll be another one.
I will say this much though: the game looked good. All 3 games looked very, very nice, but that doesn't make a good game. Look at The Last of Us Part 2.
I'm looking forward to playing it at 60 frames and like, high performance and stuff. Like now that I'm used to my new gen, the 60 frames things. Which I must say that makes the Avengers a totally better experience playing it at 60 frames rather than the 34K version.
Yeah.
It was made for 60 frames, definitely.
I definitely think that's probably the only reason I'd ever go back to that game. Just to see what it looks like in 60 frames.
Not even to play with me and co-op.
No. Honestly, that game I burnt myself out in like 10 hours and I finished the story and did a couple of side things. I was like, I can see the appeal. I think I said this to you actually when I bought it. I was like, with a friend, I could play through this more. But thinking about it, I was just like, I don't like the game. It's kind of do you know what it is? It's the Destiny dilemma that I have. I don't know what it is, but I like the Destiny game. I just can't play it. It's just fucking dull to me. And it's the same thing with the Marvel game. Like, I just can't enjoy it when I play it. I just get bored like after 2 minutes, and I'm like, oh. And the acting, Jesus Christ, the acting.
Yeah.
Oh, like I tried to enjoy the story, but fucking hell.
Yeah.
Nolan and Troy were just there for fucking paycheck.
Yeah. Boned in. It was all right.
Yeah.
I liked the first Iron Man missions and stuff, and the Kamala story was quite good, surprisingly.
Yeah. The story was okay, man. Like the story was cool, but instead of just making it a single-player linear story with expansions added, they went no live service.
Yeah, it kind of felt like just a single-player linear experience when you start the story. It's like, oh, this is quite good with like platforming and you're using your powers and stuff. But then, it kind of just like rolls into this co-op one. Yeah, you can tell what their intentions were, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they should have stuck with the single player. It would have done better. Yeah. Greedfall, that was the other one that we couldn't think of.
Yeah, that's apparently get the PS5 version at some point, which I'll probably wait for that until I actually play that.
Yeah, I can't. I've seen things about it, but I've never like watched anything. I've never played anything of it.
Apparently, it's a bit like Dragon Age Inquisition and The Witcher and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So you might enjoy it. It reminds people of old BioWare and stuff like that.
Okay. Fair.
So that's what I've read about it. I haven't watched any of it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a PS5 version. 60 frames.
Man-Eater is just shit. It's garbage. It's hot garbage. But it's a fun kind of throwaway one, just to jump in around the world. And it's a game that you can pump hours into, but like have a video on in the background or a film or something like that. Like, you know.
I remember we were talking about that on this podcast like a few months ago. And I was like, I really want to get it and stuff. And then you had it at the time on your Xbox, isn't it?
Yeah, I've played a bit of it on the Xbox. I haven't got very far into it. And I enjoy it for what it is. It is a fun game. It's not a bad game.
I'm just
But
glad it's a PS5 version as well.
yeah, that's why I was like, ooh, okay, maybe higher frame rate.
Yeah,
Okay, I can go for that.
higher resolution, haptic trigger support.
Yeah, I don't have to play the fucking game on another console. I can play it on the one that I play on.
If
So
you've got space.
yeah, literally. I'm trying to finish games, man. I have finished quite a few recently. I finished Bugsnax.
Oh yeah, still haven't downloaded that. It just doesn't look like. I don't know
Fucking
why.
weird twist at the end. It's not what you think.
Okay.
The story great. Don't try and do. I did all the side stuff as well. The side stuff is okay, but it's more like a collectathon. Try and go here, get me this snack. Come back to me. Now go and get me this one. Fucking some of the voice acting just grinds you down. But yeah, no. Otherwise, it was okay.
Just nothing about the kind of idea of it or the whatever I've seen of it has gripped me so far. But maybe I just need to play it.
The story's okay. I would say
I didn't realize it had a story.
the story's fun. It's actually quite an intriguing story. I'll give them that. They set the story up very well. But I couldn't get invested in half the characters because fucking hell, their voices.
Yeah.
And their personalities. Jesus.
A game that I really wanted to play is Sackboy: A Big Adventure. That looks really good, actually.
I never played any of the Little Big Planet games because they never interested me. But that one,
yeah, this one's different. It's like made by like a sub company, and it's just like extremely based on story.
it's an actual platformer for Sackboy. So it's like,
yeah,
ooh.
and it's co-op as well. I was like, oh, that looks really good, but
Yeah.
69.99 or something. I can't afford that.
70 quid. It's such a fucking stupid price.
I know. Like, it looks like tons of fun. Like, you could have so much fun on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But when it's on sale in like a year.
Definitely. Yeah, I can imagine it'll probably be free on Plus in like 2 years' time.
Yeah. I'll wait 2 years when it's free.
Yeah, I'll wait 2 years.
I'm that cheap.
Yeah.
Well, I am now. I'm like, yeah, no, I ain't spending that kind of money, man. Jesus.
Like, it's always a nice surprise when at least a few games that you're kind of interested in go Plus, go free on Plus. And
I'd say this is probably the best Plus loadout we've had, excluding Tomb Raider. It's probably the best Plus we've had in a while. Like, to be honest, the PlayStation Pluses are normally pretty shit.
Yeah.
But this one, they're like, hey, have a PS5.
It's normally ones that you've already gotten because they're quite big and everyone already got them at launch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
It's good. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an interesting one.
I mean, you have most of them, but
Actually, no. I think this one. The only one I've got is Tomb Raider. I mean, I've got Man Eater, but not the PS5 version and not on PS5.
Yeah.
So, and I can't really remember a lot. From what I can remember, it was very repetitive. But other than that, it was okay. It was a good game.
Welcome to gaming 2021. Repetitive.
Yeah. I hope some of the games that I'm looking forward to this year. I'm just hoping that they don't fucking go down this dumbass live service fucking route. I hope that dies off. That is something that needs to die off this year, is the live service model. It doesn't fucking work. No matter what game you play, I know people are like, hey, but Destiny is great. Yeah, ask any fucker that plays that game what the problem is. It's repetitive, it does the same shit, and there's barely any content.
Yeah. Does it count as a live service if you're still paying for expansions and the little seasons as well? Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because they're technically like, we're releasing some events for free, but you have to pay for the good ones.
I would say it's... Well, they fucking took all the base shit out. If you own the base model, there's nothing to do anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I turned to
like rehashed a little campaign thing, but it's just really shit.
Like, I don't know. There's something about this live service. It's like the gaming industry was toxic anyway, right? Before the fucking live model.
Yeah.
And then when they introduced this money-making live model, it's just fucked the entire industry. Like, Avengers is a perfect example for that. You can clearly see they were going for a single-player, linear, high-quality, story-driven game, and then Square Enix went, money. And just went, no, fuck your single-player story, make it a live service. That's all we give a shit about. If you want any more evidence to that, look at the fucking loot. It doesn't even change how you look.
Yeah.
It's invisible.
It's probably like a licensing issue or something with it, because Marvel is such a huge franchise. They don't want people to.
But then, if that was the case, look at Spider-Man. Look how many fucking things they get in that are just not even Spider-Man. It's. I struggle to believe it when companies, like so many companies last year, just jumped on that model unprepared. It's just one of those things. If you're going to do a live service, do it properly. You know, fucking really try and put some effort in. Like Division 1, for instance, right? Live service game, by the end of it was brilliant. Through the entire process was dog shit. Division 2, same fucking thing. Except they haven't made the game good yet, and they probably won't. But I just love the game, and I wish it was good. But there we are. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Fuck me, I bitched about that game enough.
Yeah, and we're still going to play it later. So,
yeah, exactly. I'll literally, all I'll do is that manhunt with you, and I'm off. I'm not playing any more of that game. Like, I'll come back once the fucking the next hunt comes out. That word could be something else, but I won't.
Like I thought live service was literally microtransaction, but you got the rest of it for free. But apparently it's just them just keep updating it and, you know, charging you whatever, but giving you some free stuff.
I think the thing is, I'm not against microtransactions, right? But it's just when it's done ethically. When it's not like, I mean, Battlefront 2 was a perfect way to not do it ethically. Of course, you know, that's a long time ago now, but
yeah.
I mean, even single player games, look at Cyberpunk. Fuck. That game was never going to live up to the hype. No, but that game was lied. They lied. One of the most friendly fucking companies lied about their product. So much so they've got 4 class action lawsuits up their ass, and a bunch of investors pissed off with them.
Yeah.
Like, game companies need to, I think this year, just need to stop and be like, right, okay, let's reevaluate. Why is this not working? Do we, like, stop fucking putting your developers through crunch and just sit down and be like, right, let's be patient. Give it time, you know.
I think every fall release of games, like last year, was a buggy mess, like, to start with, because I don't know if it was to do with COVID or something, or...
No, it was just rushed. Like, people are using COVID as, like, an excuse, and it's like, no. I understand, it's going to be harder, but then delay your game.
Yeah.
The fuck would you want to bring out a game that's going to why have companies not got this through their head yet? It's like, hey, we're going to release this game here. Like, Cyberpunk delayed 3 times. Fucking delay it more. Just be like, right, it's going to be late a year. Sorry about this. We understand people are pissed. If you want a refund, fine. But we're not releasing a game that's half-baked.
Yeah.
But no, investors were like, we want money. You're taking too long.
Because Cold War, buggy mess, and bricking consoles. Watch Dogs Legion, buggy mess, didn't even get an next-gen console version until too late. Yeah. Valhalla, quite buggy as well.
Yeah. Valhalla was pretty broken when it first came out.
Cyberpunk, broken.
Just not even playable on PS4 and Xbox One.
I think the only ones that, like, the kind of smaller studios like Sackboy, I've not really heard much about it. That's broken, and Immortals, Phoenix Rising. That's had a lot of good stuff about it. I think the only complaint people have said is it's very Ubisoft-like, in the sense of so many little dots and icons to go after. Godfall, a fucking dreadful next-gen game that came out on PS5, apparently. I've not played anything, but apparently it's awful. It's I've heard.
Companies are, like, falling into this thing of, like, I feel like game companies have fallen out of love with making the games, not the developers. But let me make this clear: I'm not attacking the developers. I'm saying about the companies themselves and the investors. They don't give a shit about the product. They just care about the paycheck that comes with it. Whereas you've got these developers, and I feel like what should happen is developers should just be like, no, fuck you. You make your game then. And I understand they can't do that. They need to earn a living. That's more like an idealistic world, but. It's when you, like, this is why I said it last year multiple times. Go and support an indie dev. Build their funds up. Imagine what an indie dev that, like, I'm trying to think, there was an indie game that I played recently that was fucking astonishing, like graphic fidelity wise and everything. And it was a pretty big game, but it was done with love and care, and you could tell. Something like the Avengers. How do you fuck a game like that up? Avengers. Like a thing that has made over $1 trillion nearly in fucking movies, and you're like, nah, can't make a game of it. Like, how? But I don't know. I love games, and I wish they were better. I wish it was like, I remember the good old days. I remember when games were good. But, I don't know.
Slight nostalgia goggles.
Probably, yeah.
No.
I mean, I've gone back and I've played like games like Time Splitters and stuff. Some of them are dated, but the third one holds up really well.
Mm,
Games like the old Call of Juarez games, I'm not talking about the newer ones that came out later on, but the first and the second game, for instance, fantastic games to play
yeah.
through. You know, Gun, Christ, a game that was done before Rockstar's Red Dead. And it was astonishing. It's a bit more dated, but it still works.
Yeah.
And that's the fucking point. It works better than some of the games that are brought out today.
Yeah, I love the little indie games like Abzu and Journey. Those are all like dreamy kind of indie games.
Simplistic.
Simplistic, but you just have so much fun playing them. And even though it's done after like 5 hours, you feel like it's worth it rather than 30 hours of trudging through it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man. I love games, but I'm starting to wonder what the fuck to play anymore, because I'm just like, games are just not the same anymore. They don't have the same.
Yeah.
That's why I am looking forward to this next generation of games. There's loads of like single player titles
Yeah,
that are coming out. Like
including the Harry Potter one, but I'm kind of
I'm super excited for that, but I'm so
anxiously excited.
I'm fucking terrified they're going to be like, no, let's make it a live service. Fuck it, throw all these microtransactions into it. Let's not make a story. Fuck off. Imagine a Harry Potter RPG open world game in Hogwarts.
Yeah, that's essentially what that's trying to be.
I want that. Don't give me some half-baked fucking shit now when it comes out. You make your character. You're never going to see your character because, no, fuck you. But here's your character, and now go off and do all these grindy shit.
Yeah.
Just give me a good story. Ugh. And like, there's like loads of space games that are coming out soon. That I'm like, yes, it looks awesome. Loads of horror games, like that look great. I mean, Christ, even the cat game, Stray. I can't wait for it. It looks adorable.
Yes, I'm looking forward to realizing the true potential of the generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. I've lost all hope for the gaming industry. I just,
well, that's a happy thought.
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm being a bit pessimistic. Maybe companies have learned.
Just you turn off your PlayStation. Fuck you and see you tomorrow.
That's how I should end every podcast now. Fuck you. See you next time.
Yeah. Can't wait to moan about it.
Oh man. But yeah.
Right. Shall we move on to something else?
I'm
not sure what.
I've got a few, right, so I got the typical links thing that you do every Christmas, but it has like little conversation starters in there. So I thought we'd go through these.
I didn't get links on this year. I got Nivea.
Nivea.
They don't have those kind of conversation stuff.
I don't know.
They just want you to be clean.
I've never seen this before, but I like caught it when I was like taking it apart to put it in recycling. I was like, oh, what the fuck's this?
Yeah, we'll just do a couple of those.
Yeah, I guess, and then we'll end it there. You can hack any one computer. Whose do you choose? Any computer in the world. If you say mine, you ain't getting shit, but it's a boring ass computer.
I'm not sure really. Ghislaine Maxwell's to open the black book of all the people that's been involved in this Jeffrey Epstein saga.
Oh God.
Yeah. But then again, I wouldn't really like what I'd probably find on there.
Donald Trump.
Yeah,
I
expose
swear,
all the tax records.
He is absolutely on porn websites, and I want to know what he searches. It's going to be some freaky shit.
Yeah, probably be like all the things against like Mexican.
Board, wall.
Chinese, Mexican.
Mexican wall. That's what he looks up in Pornhub. It just comes. Oh God.
Just a glory hole through the wall.
Mexican glory hole. That's what he looks up. Oh Christ!
Someone who isn't Melania.
So that's what he actually typed it. Someone that isn't my wife.
Yeah.
Oh, Donald Trump's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh Christ!
It's taking a dark turn.
Yeah. Well, not for Donald, but. Ooh. Okay. Dilemma for you. Which one do you choose? One of these will be shared with the entire world. Okay. Your search history or all your phone messages. Like current search history and messages. So not past, like what you've actually got.
Probably current search history then, because it's really not that interesting.
I deleted my search history just before this, so yeah. I'll go with that.
I'm hacking into you now.
That you won't find anything. I've deleted it. So you bring it back. James,
only a guilty conscience
will
delete their search history.
No, I just don't want people to see my porn history. That's all it is.
Why? We can have deep, meaningful discussions about it.
Mate, there's some things in there that... Oh, God. People are going to think it's worse than it is. It's not that bad, okay? It's just...
Come on. Dig yourself out of this one.
Dig myself out. It's just masturbation videos. That's it. I don't like watching other people have sex. I like watching people get off on their own.
Right. Okay.
And you'll never know if it's true. I can only imagine.
Let's move on to the next one then.
Let's go on to the next one. On to the next one. Oh, you can life swap with any person, living or dead, for 1 week. 1 week only. Who do you choose?
Freddie Mercury.
Ooh, interesting one. Why?
Just living in that time period, having all the fame and the live concerts, being free. Yes, I'll be that.
That's a good one. Oh, I would choose. Who would I be? Do you know what? Weird one, but Barack Obama. Mainly, that man kept such positivity in himself, and I would love to know how. Like, you can only imagine. Do you think he has to get up in the morning, look in the mirror when he goes for a piss or brushes his teeth, and just goes, "I'm the man," and then walks off?
Yeah,
he just has to, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine how he does it. Stay so positive.
He's such an incredible human being.
Yeah, very inspiring. Yeah, you can inspire the masses.
Ooh, you're the boss of a huge festival. Your 3 headline acts are... and they can be anything, so comedy, music, whatever.
Muse, Linkin Park, if they're still, and Alan Carr to finish it off.
Ooh,
that would be one hell of
that's a hell of a fucking lineup.
Yeah. one hell of a lineup. That's probably not to many people's taste, but
Hey, that's a good taste, man. Linkin Park's a good shout.
Yeah,
that is a very good shout. Rest in peace.
Muse to headline, and then Linkin Park, just in the middle somewhere.
In the middle somewhere.
Alan Carr to finish it off, so everyone leaves for that.
Ooh.
So yeah, what about you?
Yeah, comedy is a tough one. I'd probably go...
Lee Evans.
No, I wouldn't go Lee Evans. I'd probably go Russell Howard.
Yeah.
I'd probably do the opposite way you did. I'd probably have 2 comedy, 1 music. So I'd have Russell Howard, old Frankie Boyle. New Frankie Boyle is woke and shit. But old Frankie Boyle, where he was
I've heard anything from Frankie Boyle recently.
He has this BBC show, so he has to tone it down. Whereas before he would, throw out racism.
Sold himself for money.
Yeah, sold himself for money like a bitch. But
okay.
Yeah. But I would say those 2, and then for music, I don't know. Music's tough, man. I don't know if
maybe I put Lady Gaga in one of mine because it's for the whole performance of it. She's great at doing the performance.
She is good at her performance. That's absolutely true. She was very good. I liked her in American Horror Story. People criticized the fuck out of her. I thought she was very good. I mean, a lot of people are going to take that in a
great shit.
People are going to take that in a way. James, did you only watch one series with her in it? No. I just remember one of them more.
Yeah.
Ooh, music. Oh, Bad Wolves. I've recently started listening to them, and they are awesome. They're kind of like... They're not screamo, they're just rock, but they are very good. They kind of have a Linkin Park thing going on, but they recently brought out an album that was just acoustic, and It's astonishing. I absolutely suggest people go and listen to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those three. There you go. Two
There you go.
comedy, one music.
That'd be great.
Okay, we'll do one more. We'll go for one more.
Hit me. Hit me with your rhythm stick.
Hit me with your rhythm stick. Hit me.
Hit me.
Okay, I'll do two because this one's kind of like a quick one. Would you rather have really massive hands or really tiny feet?
I'd rather have tiny feet, I think.
Tiny feet? Yeah, no, I would agree. Massive hands would be a pain in the ass to do anything with.
I know, I think we're thinking about the same thing here.
Yeah.
Massive hands wouldn't be.
Try and cook
great.
with massive hands. It's not easy.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't roll bread
Cook
or dough.
chicken. You can't cook chicken with it.
You could probably fucking slap down dough really quickly, but it wouldn't exactly be great.
Yeah.
You dirty
Would be great
degenerates
for
out there
other-
thinking about wanking.
I know, yeah.
We're just thinking about cooking. Oh. Christ, the connection went bad then.
Exactly.
Probably on mine. But yes,
Yeah. So,
don't to be thinking of that. We were thinking of dough smashing. Dirty bastards.
Or like things like connecting wires and things.
Oh, quite.
Electricians.
Try and cable manage with massive hands. That's not gonna happen.
It's like Kamala in Avengers.
Fair play. That was quick. I'll give you that. Right, last one. You meet a man from 500 years in the future. You can ask him one question. What do you ask? Is the planet still alive? How are you here?
Yeah.
Where's the planet?
What are you talking about? 500 years in the future won't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
The right way to go.
We'll be fucking extinct. At this rate.
Is Greta Thunberg frozen in a cryo chamber?
Ooh. It's a tough one, isn't it? How did we fix global warming? That would be my first question, or my only question then. I'd ask how you fixed global warming, not him specifically.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I don't really know.
It's a tough one.
What's the most interesting species of animal we've discovered then?
Ooh,
Or mutated.
Yeah, what has 3 heads, 2 penises, and rolls around like a slug? Oh, that's just Donald
Michael
Trump.
Jackson.
That's just Trump. We kept him around. He's in a zoo.
He's been reborn.
With Michael.
Oh my
He's
god.
a crossbreed.
When did we learn the secrets of immortality? Jackson's corpse and extracted some DNA. Oh Jesus.
Christ, that took a turn. But yeah. But yeah, there we go. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. The first podcast back in 2021. We hope you had a safe seeing in of the new year. In 2 weeks' time, when we do our next one, it'll be back to normal structure and stuff. We just wanted to have a chilled out one for this one. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I think it went good. I think it was okay.
Yeah.
I think it went well.
Apologise if we were a bit rusty, but we'll get back into it.
Oh, I think that's why we just had the fucking chilled out one, not the structure. Because I think if we tried to have a structure, we'd have nothing to talk about. Except Brexit.
Yeah, I think we were kind of keen to just get everything off our chest for a first.
Yeah. Well, we shall see you in 2 weeks when the next episode shall be out. There are some changes that are probably going to come to the channel this year, but we'll talk about that in due time, whenever. So, yeah. Thank you again, Sean, for joining for the podcast. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Okay. It is a group effort now.
It is.
We are the podcast.
We are the podcast. But yes, thank you all very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed. And remember, if Greta Thunberg is frozen in time, we are fucked. Truly. And immensely
Turn
fucked.
off the machine.
Turn off the machine. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one that we do.
Goodbye.
Bye, mate!